New rumors in the Mets world. We got new information. We're trying to figure out the Mets offseason plan, just like you guys. We don't really have a clue, but we're going to try our best to parse all the information we see all around the internet and figure out what the Mets could possibly do to save what's been a nightmare of an offseason. Let's just put it simply. It's been absolutely terrible. So before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed. Not Happy Christmas. That's not what you say. You say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because we're dropping this on Christmas Eve for you guys. And subscribe to Mets'd. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. James, got a lot going on in this Mets world. Not a lot of great, but maybe there could be some good coming. Help me out. Tell the people what you could be excited about, possibly.
Hopefully this is the last departure. It feels like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Besides, like, before some of the young pitchers start to get moved, like Peterson or Senga. It just feels like when the other guys went, we talked about with you guys the Jeff McNeil trade reaction. It just felt like when these started to go, he was the last to go. We kind of expected it and happened. And now there's just space on this roster. There's lots and lots of space, lots of players that are necessary to be added. And I don't know which way they're going to turn. And we got a pretty explosive section of a Will Salmon and Ken Rosenthal article right after the Jeff McNeil trade. Use the same picture of Jeff that we used on the audio thumbnail, which I thought was funny. But yeah, so it was just about kind of trying those guys. Again, Will's had a banner offseason. He's probably one of the fastest riders right now in the baseball journalist community. But some crazy quotes in here. Just to read a couple for you guys. This one from a rival executive who was granted anonymity for his candor. What they've done tells you how big of a shit show their clubhouse was. The guessing is over. It was a disaster. So first of all, I can't believe Alex Anthopoulos would say this.
Yeah, also, I couldn't care less about what a rival executive thinks could have possibly happened in the clubhouse because the Mets traded a bunch of guys that were in this team.
Well, can I one-up you on something from inside the Mets building?
Yeah, hit me.
Will said, this is how the quote's led into, as one Mets person put it, we definitely tidied things up in our house. Now it's time to do more rebuilding.
Okay, I think that's fair. A little cleanup, and I think we knew that was also partially the case too. Again, I don't believe that there was a problem still inside this Mets clubhouse. I think it would have been very much more obvious, and you would have known in season way more than we knew that there was an actual problem. I don't think the guys necessarily were tight. I think Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil definitely didn't like each other. I think that one's well known. But I do think at times the clubhouse atmosphere gets overblown by the reporters, especially right now, because it's an easy pile-on.
I also think there's a big difference between a clubhouse being a shit show and a clubhouse just not being good, and then a clubhouse being average and a clubhouse being good. I think a clubhouse was just regular bad, which is fine. I think people win World Series with bad clubhouses.
It's also it's hard to have a good clubhouse when your team is consistently underperforming, having a major complete lapse of good play in the second half of the season. It's hard to be like, you know what, guys, love being here every day.
Also, how many big losing streaks did the Mets have? Like, it's also that's kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Like, do you keep having these big losing streaks because of how bad this clubhouse is, or is how bad this clubhouse is make you happy? You know what I mean? Like, that makes the clubhouse bad.
I think losing makes the clubhouse bad. I think it puts a lot more pressure
Sherlock.
on everybody.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, ooh, cool. Like, go ask about how was the Tigers clubhouse down the stretch. They collapsed too.
Yeah. The other big points, big points from the Salmon article with Ken Rosenthal was the Mets hold interest in adding a right-handed batter to balance out their lineup. People familiar with their conversations said that could end up being someone who can also play first base. The club needs to make a decision on whether such a player is better than Mark Vientos. More likely, they would find that player in a trade than free agency.
I just don't know who that player is on trades. I'm gonna quickly look through some names of guys who could be a first baseman, right-handed bat. It's like, if you didn't say the trade thing, this would be Eugenio Suarez, it feels like. And it feels like it probably still could be. And he would make a ton of sense. Like, in a world where you're trying to patchwork together, getting, like, Pete Alonso back on this team, right? It seems like Jorge Polanco and Eugenio Suarez, if they were to kind of be that mix, you're getting, like, 40 home runs from those two.
Yeah, and I think that my mind went to Eugenio Suarez immediately with that. I also think that the Mets Paul Goldschmidt thing, that's a much better chance than we want to admit. That
I'd rather have Mark Vientos.
Well, I think that's exactly what the second part of that quote means. Like, let's decide if he's better. So I think, can we trade Mark Vientos and actually open up another roster spot to do that? I also think if there was a trade option, it probably is Yandy Diaz, but he's also not. He hasn't really been trusted defensively in a very long time.
He's more of a D. He's a DH.
Yes. And then, like, Ryan Mountcastle, like those are like if you
he's the guy. That's it.
That's probably it. If you wind up with Ryan Mountcastle and they wind up with Pete Alonso, that definitely won't feel good in your chest. But that's someone who would probably just a cheap get as a right-handed first baseman. Right-handed first basemen are usually rare because most are lefties because it's advantageous defensively to be a lefty. And also right-handed first baseman can be rare because first baseman is a position that sometimes can be platooned, but I think it's probably one of the lesser platoon positions. So not being as much of a platoon position, you should more likely have the left-handed hitters there. They have platoon advantages. It's a strange fit trying to find a right-handed first baseman when theoretically you might have one on your roster already.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear anybody thrown out like Spencer Torkelson or Miguel Vargas or any of those guys. Like we're not going to be going after them. They're not available. It is going to be unfortunately more of the bargain bin guys. But Eugenio Suarez feels like the best of all those options to me.
I wonder if there's a world where you do a swap with the Astros and wind up with Christian Walker.
Maybe. Like, what would be the swap there? Like,
I mean, you're taking money off there. Like,
nothing.
Probably not much. If you can get something else with him, like I feel like the code I sang.
Like Vientos would be too much for him.
I think Vientos would definitely be too much.
Yeah,
he's a negative value contract. He's making $20 million to be like you hope to be a 2-win player. Like if Christian Walker just had that last season, he's a free agent right now. He's not matching the 2 for $40 he's owed at the moment. Or maybe he about gets that. Like maybe he's not viewed that differently than Eugenio Suarez on the market. Honestly,
can I tickle your fancy with Ryan Mountcastle for 1 second? Just
sure.
be a sicko because I think there's a really good chance he is a New York Met in 2026. Saying that out loud, hearing the trade right-handed back, completely forgetting that the Orioles have our first baseman. Where the hell is Ryan Mountcastle going to play?
Well, I led that in. It'd be sick and disgusting to they have Pete Alonso on opening day and we have Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah, that would be. Oh God, people are hating our guts right now. All right,
I mean they also have to deal with Kobe Mayo too. Like they signed Pete Alonso with having other options there. It's just they wanted the bat. And
Ryan
again,
Mountcastle
it is
hit a
also
ball 117 last year, 116.7. Hits the ball hard.
It is disgusting, though, to hear this line and be like, the Mets hold interest in adding a right-handed batter to balance their lineup that could also play first base.
I have a really good idea who that could be.
There was someone that did that, but again,
hear me out, Pete Alonso.
They can't rehash that there. And I do think that the one big rumor that continues to circulate, that I think we did want to focus some a big part of this video on, is the Ketel Marte murmurs. I really, in my gut, in my heart, don't think so, but there's just... It was a report from Ken Rosenthal on Foul Territory on Tuesday that said the Diamondbacks likely won't trade Ketel Marte unless they receive young pitching in return. With that said, they seem motivated to move him because of his looming 10-5 rights. And 10-5 rights, guys, is when a player spends 10 years in the league and then 5 of those 10 years with one team, you get a no-trade clause.
Which is kind of crazy.
It's
great for the players. Yeah,
great for the players. So on opening day this year, Ketel Marte gets those 10-5 rights. And there's so much buzz about him being traded this offseason. It feels like it's going to happen.
Those 10-5 rights things are interesting. I never even considered that once when talking about Ketel Marte as being a trade candidate this offseason. I never think about 10-5 rights ever.
Oh, I for sure mentioned that on the windup, no doubt about it.
I completely blacked it out. That I didn't hear it for a second. Went in one year, out the other. I would, of course, still love Ketel Marte on this team. The problem is, and something that me and you talked about in texts and DMs, was when that clip of Ken Rosenthal on Foul Territory came out, if, like, the Mets clearly have some of the young pitching that would be available, and this deal would be done already if you could have given up Sproat or Will Watson or Santucci or Wenninger. It seems like this has to be Joe Natang, and then there's the conversation of, do you want to trade Joe Natang for Ketel Marte?
No, I think that even opens up a bigger discussion about, and I think this is something that's been very different opinions on every side of baseball. How valuable is Ketel Marte on this contract? So I could hear an argument that this contract Ketel Marte is on is one of the most favorable in the league. Like Ketel Marte is accounting for less than $20 million against your luxury tax threshold every single year. He's only making a maximum. He's making $16 million your payroll this year, $12 million next year, and then $20 million for 3 years, jumps up to 22. And then he's a player option for $11 million when he's 37 years old. But then that's the other side of this, because you'd be buying years 32 through 37 for Ketel Marte, who's had heaps and heaps of muscle strains and weird injuries and weird reports about his commitment that I don't believe, but they still made it out there. And then you're still getting a guy that probably isn't. I think this doesn't matter for the Mets, but I'm just talking about like the contract discussion in general. Like he's not like a great defensive second baseman anymore. You could probably play him there, but you also might convince yourself as a team that you're mostly buying the bat, because for the last 2 years he's been literally, I'm not even exaggerating, like a top 6 hitter in baseball.
He's a top 10 player in baseball. It's the injury thing. That's quite literally the only thing that worries me ever about Ketel Marte is that, like you mentioned, and we've done it on the podcast before, going through all the injuries that he's accumulated over like the last 3 years. And
Should we do it again?
I mean, you could if you'd like, if you want to pull that up and just let the people know. But it's like always muscle, soft tissue, like stuff where it's like maybe stretch a little bit, maybe drink a little water. Feels like the conversations we had about Jeff McNeil, but Ketel Marte is a much better player.
Yeah, so here's every single reason Ketel Marte has missed a game lately. Foot, groin, hamstring, ankle, lower body, hand, back, illness, knee, quad, back, undisclosed, hamstring, hand, hip, hamstring, wrist. That was since the 2020 season.
And if you break down, like, let's just say you don't take the team option, right, when he's 37 years old. Let's just take it as
player option. It's not on you.
Is it a player option?
Yep, 100%.
Oh, okay. The Baseball Reference has player option. Nice. Okay. Well, let's say I'll add the $11 million to it. It's actually going to take the money down a little bit, but from 91 plus 11 is going to put us at 102. So 102 over 6 years, right?
Yep.
That comes out to about $17 million average over the time of that contract. When you compare
it's 19.4 against the luxury tax, which is the real value.
Sure. Okay. So you compare that to like the guys getting paid around $19 million a year right now. It's like almost impossible to find good players at that price point over a long-term contract. Like the guys who are getting paid similar-ish money, Jung-Woo Lee, Ketel Marte is there. Jose Ramirez is the unicorn where you're like, what the fuck? Like that's one of the best contracts ever. Brandon Nimmo would be making more money over that time. Josh Naylor just got $18.5 million over the next 5 years. In terms of other hitters, like Masataka Yoshida got similar value over the next 5 years.
Not that dissimilar of an age.
No. So it's like
early 30s.
While there is some risk again with the age, and I'm sure he's not particularly going to age well just because of the body being bad at 30. I can't imagine it's going to get better at 36.
Well, we're at 32 already.
Yeah. So it's like that's where the concern is. But man, having him on this roster instantly makes them way better, so much better. He's so good.
Well, that's the part of it. Like the alleviated concern could come from the fact that he will not be playing second base for the Mets. Ketel Marte, if he were to come to the Mets in our fantasy world that we're living in at this exact moment, it seems like he would be splitting time between first base, left field, and DH.
Yeah.
And Ketel Marte was playing, like, not a good center field, but he was playing center field, standing there with his 2 feet as recently as 3 or 4 years ago now. He could probably fake it over there for a little bit. It's not the best arm in the world, but he still is a good athlete. But as a first base DH and for the right-handed hitter thing, he has so much more bat speed. He's so much more power from the right side compared to the left side. It seems like he just hits from the left side because he kind of can, and he goes to the right side to really do his hitting. So he can be someone that can fill this void, can be a big stopper in this Mets lineup against left-handed pitching. Like there's as a fit, and also then should we even just talk about the fact that it's probably just us versus the Red Sox versus the Mariners to get him?
Feels like it.
Like
out of all the teams that, like, is there another team that we're missing? I mean, because they're not going to trade him to the Dodgers. That would be insane, right?
Well, I guess the Dodgers are in play, and the Blue Jays are technically in play.
Blue Jays are definitely in play. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like they're probably more focused on the free agent market.
They don't. I don't think they have, like, in a bidding war scenario, the Blue Jays are never going to have the best young pitcher because they're not trading Trey Savage.
No, they're definitely not. And then if they're next tier of pitchers, it's that what's the guy I always forget their next young tier of pitchers' names.
But they're far away.
They have a couple guys that are like high A, double A, who were like looking decent by the end of last year. What's the guy's name? I can't remember it right now. But they have Johnny King from last year's draft. Stanifer, that's the one who got to double A, who looks pretty nice. But it's still not our mid tier, even without Jonah Tong, beats them. I think handily. I think the two teams that are the ones that can't come over the top on us would, again, be the Red Sox and the Mariners. But the Red Sox just kind of really flushed out the middle tier of their pitching farm system. And I don't think that they would ever consider trading a Peyton Tolley, a Kyson Witherspoon, or a Conley Early. Truthfully.
It feels risky. I mean, for the same reasons that the Mets are not considering possibly trading Jonah Tong. I think both of these teams are trying to find any possible way to not trade their premium pitching prospect. And I know some of you at home are probably screaming at us, going, I'd trade Jonah Tong for Ketel Marte. What are we thinking? What are we talking about? Prospects or suspects? Whatever the people like to say. Buck Showalter, no such thing as prospects. But Jonah Tong, if he didn't come up last year, if you didn't see him pitch a single inning, he would be one of the most untouchable prospects right now in all of baseball. So
I think he is from the Mets' perspective.
I think so, and I think people around baseball, there's a reason people want Jonah Tong. Like, people are like,
team.
you want one of the best players in baseball? Well, you have to give us Jonah Tong.
Prospects.
I think both of these teams are trying to find a way to get Ketel Marte without having to give up the crown jewels.
And that's why, again, I wanted to start out with that contract discussion because it's a very difficult contract, I think, to track because of how strange his archetype is. Like, he's peaking at 31, 32 years old as a hitter.
Yeah.
While he's been off injured his entire career, while he's losing all of his defensive value. So I could definitely see a team where it's like, I don't know, like what do you think Ketel Marte is worth for the next 5 years? 20 WAR?
Probably. I think that's pretty conservative. That's like 4 a year.
Yeah, but if he's not playing second base defense anymore, I think 4 a year would be a lot for a first base DH.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. His WRC plus was still like you said, like one of the 5, 6 best on the planet.
It's 150. It's 150 over 2 years. It's incredible. But like,
we just saw Juan Soto put up like 8 WRC plus and like be awful at right field. Terrible.
I'm assuming he's missing a half year for injury somewhere in there. I'm baking that into my model, my mental projection right now.
I mean, like,
and then
we paid Robinson Cano $25 million a year to be 40.
Those were idiots.
I know.
But
this guy's so good.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's why there seems to be a disconnect between these top teams trading their top pitching prospects. The Mets with Jonah Tong. It's the Red Sox with either Early or Tolle, and it'd probably be the Mariners with Cade Anderson.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to move Cade Anderson for him.
So I think now once that entire tier clears, I think all 3 of those teams are like, we're not doing that. Then you move on to the next tier. And then with the Red Sox, again, I think that tier starts with Kyson Witherspoon, who was their first-round draft pick last year, just an absolute specimen. He's going to
throws gas.
He's freak of nature. But then, was it last year? No, the first-round pick a couple years ago.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. And then you go to the Mets, and it becomes this grouping of Sproat, Wenninger, Watson. Christian Scott, even throw him in there.
Yeah. I'd move Christian Scott. Was that crazy to say?
Not at all. I think so. I mean, I got some hate online for my Wilson Contreras trade comp. I got a lot of other people being like, that was a good trade comp, who I believe more. So I was like, okay, I like that trade comp. And I think that Christian Scott's a great piece for both the Mets and the team right now because you still have legitimate upside on him while getting you'd be buying into risk, but it's a floor versus ceiling debate there, which is fun. Where Sproat is much more of a tighter, range of outcomes.
Not the same-ish, but it's kind of similar-ish to when like the Mets traded for Zach Wheeler, who we knew was like had some injury issues when he was with the Giants. That was the reason why they moved off of him for Carlos Beltran. They were like, we can take that risk of him being a healthy guy. Ended up becoming healthy. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball now. But even still, it took for him then still going to the Phillies to even get to that next level. Like sometimes these guys, while we know there could be that high ceiling, it might take a while, and the Mets might not really be worried about that.
It was the same thing last year with the Garrett Crochet Red Sox trade. Like in retrospect right now, again, every team is like, every fan base, like every single team should have done that trade. But at the time, Garrett Crochet had under 200 major league innings.
And I think, what was it, like 90 of them were as a starter? The rest of them were like as reliever?
He had just spent 3 months going in like 2 to 4 inning increments. Like it was a very, and the Red Sox traded 2 bona fide top 100 prospects to get him, and a major league ready middle infielder, and another like kind of far away pitching spec. Like it was a monster package for
Wickelman.
A guy. Yeah, Wickelman Gonzalez.
I think he's going to be at the major league level this year now. Like even then, that's huge.
Mydroth and Braden Montgomery looks like a dude who's going to be an outfielder. He's going to be like probably 20% better than league average hitter with twitch. And Kyle Teal he looks like a cornerstone. Yeah, like that's a ball player right there.
The Red Sox like him so much they're interested in bringing him back. They're like, how can we get Kyle Teal back?
Yeah, that was the report. It was just over 200 major league innings for Garrett Crochet at the time of the trade. But still, the point stands. Like sometimes there is some risk it for the biscuit. I think the Mets in that middle tier of pitching, because the Mariners, while there is a lot of pitching, they don't really have the middle tier of pitching prospects. I think a team like the Diamondbacks would love. Like they have,
dude. Like they have got. I don't like these guys.
It would be Bryce Miller.
It's like Ryan Sloan, Logan Evans. Those guys are like floating around the top 100s, but I don't see the hype with them.
I'm sure that the people who are running teams like see those guys' stuffs and they're like, all right, these aren't like, freaks. I think Ryan Sloan has a little bit more stuff, but the rest of that crew, like Jurangelo, how do you say last name? Senja, like that's
he's just a weirdo.
That's just so confusing to me. I don't even know if I want to get into that, but it's like the Mariners have really interesting low minors hitters.
Yes.
If the Diamondbacks want controllable pitching, again, I keep coming back to the Mets and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like those are the teams that have it, and the Red Sox just dumped a lot of there. So can the Mets can you just wait this out and do a Scott and Wenninger?
Well, this is going to be, I think, now
Sproat and Watson.
Like the kind of bigger overall theme that we're going to have for this episode is that it feels like for the Mets to have the best offseason, and this is going to be disgusting. Get ready to throw up and crash your car into a tree on the side of the road. Is waiting. It's just wait. Like we even got like a little rumor today about Austin Hayes. Wait. No one is rushing to sign Austin Hayes. If we sign Austin Hayes before your birthday, James, before Valentine's Day, why? No one's rushing to sign him. I'm sure he can be an okay player. I know I said I'm going to be violently depressed if they do sign him. If they sign him before,
I think you threatened self-harm.
I did. If they sign him before Valentine's Day, I might have lost all faith in David Stearns. I might have to say that.
I mean, we also know that signing a guy like Austin Hayes is just so Carson Bench can get eased in. You know what I mean?
No, I know, but
that's the reason for that.
The Austin Hayes archetype, it exists. On opening day, you could find 10 of them.
Not 10 of them, maybe 3 of them, but yeah.
That's more than 0.
I just put a video on my personal channel about how the Mets' best thing they can do this offseason again is continue to wait. Like you could get
patience.
You can get a short-term Cody Bellinger if you wait the rest of the offseason. You could probably get short-term Ranger Suarez's and Framber Valdez's. Again, I don't know if they're going to pay the qualifying offers for those last 2 guys, but if we know the Diamondbacks have a desire to trade Ketel Marte, and opening day is their deadline to do it, and the Red Sox have traded a bunch of their prospects, and we have the most abundant thing that they need, which is close to the major leagues, controllable starting pitchers.
Wait.
Just look them in the eye. Like, let me know when.
Let's wait. I think
getting Jonah Tong. Let me know when.
Like the few times this Mets organization recently has been very aggressive in signing guys that seemed like nobody else was going after, it hadn't worked out well. So I'd love to just continue to be patient. I don't think Ketel Marte is coming off the board anytime soon. I really don't. And as the days go on, it feels like it's more and more in the Mets' favor to just wait on all these guys who want to get paid money. Mets will give them money.
Especially with how slow this offseason has progressed to this point. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like when the offseason started, Mark Feinstein and MLB.com ranked the top 30 free agents available. 14 of the 30 are still available, including 5 of the top 7.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is right in front of us, still ready to go.
And also, I'd love to see where Bo Bichette goes, too, because that's going to take one more team off the Ketel Marte list as well.
Yeah, again, or also could put one team on very harshly.
Possibly.
Like, if the Dodgers can still jump in and kind of ruin all of these trade packages, like, sadly.
I can't see the Diamondbacks trading in division like that. A guy who's going to beat your face in for the next 6 years. There's no doubt about it.
Last time these teams played in the playoffs, who won?
Diamondbacks. They had Ketel Marte.
That's true, but also the Dodgers pitching depth is more of like, it is probably a little bit still beauty in the eye of the beholder. Like I don't think you're getting Emmett Sheehan, and then it's like, how much do you want
River
Ryan coming off injury? I mean, I still love Gavin Stone coming off injury, but these are guys who come but again, I don't know. I think those guys are a little bit better than Christian Scott, but I think there's a similar level of risk, and Scott. You could convince me that Scott has more upside than some of those guys on. I was going to say fastball shape, the extension, like all the specs that Christian Scott has. Having like a good east-west pitch with a fastball that has like decent vertical move, like there's all of these Mets pitchers are so close to just
I know
latching it in together. It's gonna be fun. You're watching these guys. I think that's part of this too.
Yes,
I think the Mets love their farm system. I actually do. I think the Mets are confident that they got some dudes, and I think
they should.
I think they want to try.
We talked about it in the McNeil video, right? Where it's like we have 9 borderline top 100 prospects right now. There's like not many farm systems that can really have that conversation of having almost double-digit guys in the top 100. We almost make up 10% of the top 100 in a league that has 30 teams.
And again, we're going to graduate a few of these guys early in the season, but I think we're going to get more guys that jump into the back when that's done. Like guys like Eli Serrano just had a great year in the minor leagues. Again, we're floating it. We're going to give you guys our top 10 Mets prospects soon. We're going to do it today. We were like, there's too much offseason to talk about still.
I was also going to say, like, let us know in the comment section, like, are you guys ready to hear about prospects yet? Because,
tell us.
Like, last year we could do it because we signed Juan Soto. Like, it was, like, happy days. Right now it's a little dark and gloomy. I don't know if you guys want to hear about, like, what's going to happen in 3 years for some guys.
Yeah, how much you guys want to hear about A.J. Ewing's swing decisions. But they're good, so I kind of want to talk about them. It's just I don't know. Like the still seems like the Avalanche probably like a year away though. So you want to be able to float this year. Like how are we still not talking about guys that we can get for the rotation? It's crazy how little we've talked about that.
I don't know how we do it besides like again all the ones out there. The only ones that I'm interested in, you're gonna wait. You're not rushing to give them their long-term contracts. I don't want Nick Martinez. I don't want Chris Bassett. I don't want those arms. If we're going to go out and get somebody, let's go get somebody that's actually good, that makes his team a higher ceiling.
Okay, so then I'm going to go to that Feinstein article right now and get his top 10 free agents. I want you to tell me who who you want to get.
Okay.
I
Who
lost
I'd be
it.
interested in the Mets having? Like, if they signed him, I'd be like, okay.
Or how about this, actually? I'm going to start reading down this list. You give me a percentage likelihood you think these guys could be a Met.
Okay. I'll do that.
Kyle Tucker.
25%.
It's a fair number. Bregman.
10%.
Yeah, 1%. Bo.
0%.
Maybe he could play first base.
I don't think I want him playing first
Could
base.
that be the solution?
0%. Bo Bichette.
Bellinger.
40%.
Who are the next one here? Oh, Ranger Suarez.
25%.
Who Feinstein ranked higher than Framber and Imai.
That's brain dead. Also, I haven't heard anything about Imai either.
That's what I'm saying. Imai is the next one.
Okamoto.
We've heard nothing about Okamoto. There was a report about who was actually interested in him, and the Mets were not on the list. So
interesting.
It might just be something that we don't see it. We're not in. I think he's also a left-handed bat, so maybe the Mets don't want that. Wait, no, is he?
I think he's a righty. Munetaka Murakami's a lefty.
Yeah, Murakami's a lefty. Yeah, Okamoto is a righty. Maybe they're just not confident.
Maybe
Okamoto
he
to me
play
seems.
first. I don't know.
He could definitely play first.
I know. I think so, but
he seems rock solid. I don't know. I think I also like Okamoto more than the field at this point, just from finding a couple of those better batted balls than were being reported. But it's just I think he's good. So then last one, Framber.
50%.
You think Framber's the highest of all these guys?
That's just my gut. Is every day that goes by, I think more and more Framber's going to end up being a Met on that contract that you talk about, where it's a 3-year opt out after 2. Give him like 3 for 100. Call it a day. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, mine's still Eugenio. They're similar.
I would love a Eugenio on this
45.
team. I'd love him on this roster. Give me 40 home runs into this lineup right now. He's just a way, way, way better version of Mark Vientos. Talk about an upgrade. I honestly, big brain. Get Eugenio Suarez. Let Mark Vientos just hang around Eugenio. He would love for his career to be Eugenio Suarez's. A former shortstop as well, Mark Vientos.
Former
just
shortstop.
saying.
People
just
forget.
saying.
People forget that one. Eugenio also seems like kind of fits the bill of these guys the Mets are trying to bring in. Again, we started this whole podcast talking about the Alex Anthopoulos' anonymous quote about the shit show in the clubhouse.
Dave Dombrowski.
Yeah, one of those guys. I don't know. But he's just everyone loves Eugenio Suarez. Good guy.
Gino.
People love him. I remember when we went to a Mets Mariners game 2 years ago, and it was like him and Luis Castillo were just they were everywhere. These guys were gregarious. Like everyone just wanted to hang out and chill with these fellas. Just
good
fun
vibes.
Dudes.
Good vibes and good at baseball.
Dangly earring. Yeah, very good at baseball.
You know what he's got? A lot of testosterone.
He does, the T guy. But there's this. There's so. I'm staring at roster resource right now. Like, where are the baseball players?
Well, we did it yesterday, right? We were like, there's 15 guys that I feel pretty confident should be on the major league roster, and then the other 11 spots, I'm like, I got no idea what's going on. I don't know if you're going to be here or not.
No clue. It's just there's such a big checklist,
and there's so many trades the Mets have to make too, just to clean up even the guys that are currently on the roster at the major league level that I don't think will be. Like, I don't see how Luis Angel Acuna is on this team next year.
I still do, just because speed and defense. Like, I think some of this clearing, depending on which you can get in trades for these guys in the offseason, it is to give one more good old chance to Mauricio, Acuna, and Vientos collectively. Not saying they're going to have starting spots on opening day, because I doubt really any of those guys do. Besides,
that'd be a catastrophe.
Vientos might be the DH on opening day. I wouldn't be surprised at that. If Polanco's just playing first, if we don't get Eugenio.
Maybe that's just
Paul
the DH
Goldschmidt.
platoon. It's just him and Ronnie. Let Ronnie swing lefty and Vientos hit lefties.
I'm saying, like, Ronnie can play defense. He just can't, how should I phrase this?
Can't hit righty.
Sometimes the game just leaves him while it's going on. Like, I found a highlight from 2023 I forgot the other day when I was doing that video on my channel about, remember it was a bunt from Xavier Edwards? And Ronnie charged it with Lucchesi, and Lucchesi threw it to third base because Ronnie charged, he wasn't there, and the ball went to the out. Like, it's just like, I don't know. And then, like, some of those mental mistakes he made down the stretch where it's like, I know physically you can handle this game well, and you could play plus defense 2 positions, and you have disgusting power from the left side of the plate. Like, that alone should get you a roster spot. It's just you're so close. Like, just click it in.
I'm interested to see what's going to go on. Again, I think patience is the name of the game, which is so fun as a fan. Nothing like sitting around waiting, seeing other teams doing things.
Fun for us.
Fun for us because we get to just talk about everything going on. And especially now that we're just pumping out content on Mets'd Up, The Wind Up, my channel, your channel. There's a lot of baseball talk going around. And Mets are at the forefront of a good chunk of it.
So much of it. It's just, I think the most fun thing to talk about with the Mets, with any baseball team this time of year, is options. What people can do. The Mets can do anything.
Can
will they do
Can
anything?
you find me an option that's not Austin Hayes? Just make me feel better to end this episode.
Any
Find
outfield
me-
option that's not Austin Hayes?
Yeah, that's not Austin Hayes. Rob Refsnyder just got signed. I would have loved Rob Refsnyder over Austin Hayes.
You want a right-handed hitting guy that could play the outfield that's not Austin Hayes.
That's not Austin Hayes. Yes.
I mean, there's two right-handed hitters I'm sure the Mets will wind up speaking to at some point, and Rhys Hoskins and Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay, can't play the outfield though.
No, can't play the outfield, but those would be fun
Rhys
conversations
Hoskins.
to have.
That would be like what a villain arc.
Dylan Moore?
No.
I mean,
Can't be him.
Would you ask for, right? Is it a right-handed hitting guy that could play the outfield?
All right, I'm gonna look at this list now. There's got to be someone that you're missing on purpose.
Kike Hernandez. I'm just doing a scroll.
He's not gonna come here.
I think Miguel Andujar.
I hate it, but I do like it more than Austin Hayes. Bring back
this
Tommy
is-
Pham.
This is just for Shannon. The Mark Cannon reunion. It's not going to happen.
There
We're
you
just going to
go.
say it out loud.
Is there any world Harrison Bader comes back?
Yeah, probably. Why not?
Would you take Randall Grichuk or Austin Hayes? That's like
Talk about how many people just turned off this podcast.
that's like I can't even say what the thing is. I'll text you it.
Yeah, Austin Hayes at least has like a better arm. Austin Hayes feels like he's more apt of. He's like actually Randall Grichuk has a great arm too. I think I'd probably lean Hayes, but I could. Why not actually give me Grichuk? Grichuk still has better bat speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, way better underlying data.
Okay.
Than Randall Grichuk still.
Then
Is that it?
Then maybe
That's the guy, Randall Grichuk.
that still makes me feel depressed.
But we talked about our friend. We need a right-handed caddy for Carson Bench.
We have, yeah.
You need to have that on this roster. You need someone who can be a right-hander on this team when we're facing tough lefties.
It's time for Miguel Margot. No, that's not his name. Manuel Margot.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Bader, I think Grichuk, I think Andujar. Did Andujar prove he could play the outfield?
No, he can't play the outfield.
Okay.
He might be a first base option.
Yeah, he actually probably is a first base DH option.
Hey, Jose Iglesias played left field last year, right?
Starling Marte.
It might end up being Starling Marte.
Did you see Starling Marte and Soto were at the Jake Paul fight?
Starling Marte is going to be a New York Met in 2026, isn't he? He's just going to come back and be a
He
Met.
just can't play the outfield. I think we know how much he can't play the outfield. He just can't be on this team. You think that David Stearns would be bloodthirsty to get rid of this entire core, and he would still re-sign Starling Marte?
It's fair. It's a good point. It's a really good point.
I just can't see that. I just can't. No way.
Oh, how this is what a awful offseason this is.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope you enjoy Christmas Eve. Hope you enjoy Christmas Day when you see this. We brought you just fat lumps of coal. We said, you excited? Guess what? Wait even longer. You wait. Keep waiting.
Would Michael Scott say, "Happy birthday, Jesus"? Or your party's so lame?
Yeah, pretty much that kind of thing.
That's where we're at.
All right. I've had enough. I think you guys have too. Subscribe to Mets'd Up. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Thank you guys for a great year. Merry Christmas. Let's go, Mets. See you next time.